Hello friends, welcome to the platform of Darshanik. This is Akshay Kadam. So guys, today on this platform of Darshanik, I am going to discuss with you one important part of medieval Indian history. So guys, from medieval Indian history, I am going to discuss with you one legendary poet, that is Mahakavi Kalidas. Okay, so guys, as we all know, Kalidas was one of the Navaratna in the court of Gupta Emperor Chandragupta II Vikramaditya. Okay, so I have already discussed with you one iron pillar inscription of Chandragupta II Vikramaditya, which is at Mehroli in Delhi. Now this Chandragupta II Vikramaditya has Navaratnas in his courts, and one of that was Mahakavi Kalidas. And this Mahakavi Kalidas, guys, okay, though was at Ujjain in Chandragupta II Vikramaditya's court, in reality, okay, or he belonged or born somewhere in Kashmir, Uttarakhand region, because most of the features of a flora fauna that he describes in his books, okay, that you nowhere find, you will find them in northern India or in South India. You only find such a feature, such a trees, birds, which are unique flora and fauna or vegetation of Kashmir or Uttarakhand Himachal region. So this Kalidas, when he was in the court of Chandragupta II Vikramaditya, wrote many dramas. Also he wrote a few epics, and also he composed a few poems. And in this class I am going to discuss these compositions of Mahakavi Kalidas in detail with you. So nowadays UPSC has changed its trend, and in new syllabus, guys, they don't want you to remember the facts. Okay, that Kalidas wrote which book, he was in which king's court, which year or time period he belonged to. Such a question have been UPSC has stopped asking. Now UPSC, guys, expects from you the content of the books. Okay, so the UPSC has already asked about Kalidas, that there is a book Malvika Agnimitra. So what was the story of that book, content of that book? So in this class, guys, I am going to discuss with you these compositions of Kalidas and what actually is the content of those legendary books written by this Mahakavi Kalidas. So guys, as we know, Chandragupta II Vikramaditya's court contained Navaratnas. Kalidas himself has written one book in which he has given the names of these Navaratna, including himself. Okay, but there is a lot of debate about those Navaratnas, authenticity, etc. So I will not go in detail or conclude those Navaratna. But Chandragupta II Vikramaditya's time period, guys, produced many legendary kings, legendary people like Kalidas, Aryabhatta, Varamir, Vishnu Sharma and Vatsayan. Now see, generally we called Gupta period as a golden age, but guys, Gupta period wasn't golden age. Rather, Gupta period was the time when feudalism began in India, Samantashahi system began in India. Gupta period mein social system mein very heinous traditions started. Like sati practice evidences we get. Then Shudras mein there were one group, touchable Shudras, and untouchable Shudra group came. Chandalas increase in numbers. So socially it was very bad time. Even economically, as I told you, we only find golden coins issued by Gupta emperors, but no bronze, silver, copper coins. That means economy was working only for rich people, not for the common people. And that's why, even economic terms mein, it was a bad period, and that's why they stopped paying soldiers or commanders salary and started to give them the land grants, Dharma Deya, Deva Deya, etc. So these land grants, Brahma Deya, Deva Deya, were started in Gupta period. So economically, socially, it was a golden period. But in matters of art, architecture, literature, science, it was a golden period. Because there was in literature people like Mahakavi Kalidas, etc. Then in science you have Aryabhatta, Varahamir, Brahmagupta, these kind of people. Or even in science we have this iron pillar at Mehroli. So these kind of metallurgical inventions were also there. Aryabhatta, etc. Did a lot of research on mathematics. Then we have Dhanvantri also in his court as one of the Navaratna. So in fields of art, architecture, literature, science, medicines, it was a golden period, but not economically and politically. And so one of the legendary person who contributed to this golden period of Guptas was Kalidas. And this Kalidas, guys, Mahakavi, has written few dramas and epics and composed some lyrics. So Kalidas wrote three dramas. One is Abhijat Shakuntalam, that is the recognition of Shakuntala. I will be telling you entire story or what Kalidas has written in those books. I will discuss separately. Then Vikram Urvashiyam, that is Urvashi won by valor. Then third was Malvika and Agnimitra story. Then also we find epic poems Raghuvansh, dynasty of Raghu, and Kumar Sambhavam, birth of the war god. Then we come across or we also have two very legendary lyrics composed by Kalidas, that is Meghdutam, the cloud messenger, and Ritusamharam, the medley of seasons. And these are the most important compositions of Kalidas. There are many more, but these are the most important ones that I will be discussing with you. So guys, remember, even while studying history, okay, don't remember facts. UPSC has stopped that kind of questions long back. Few facts UPSC does ask, but mostly now they expect from you is the understanding of history. So not when third battle of Panipat happened. They want you to know that why Marathas went to Delhi to guard Mughals in the third battle of Panipat. They could have remained in South India and remained well protected. Why 1 lakh Marathas died in the battle of Panipat? You need to answer and understand history. Same way they don't want, okay, who was Kalidas or in which king's court he was or what books he wrote. What was the content of that book? Why it was so famous? Okay, what story or which are the major characters, who was the protagonist, etc. And such a part of history I will be discussing with you. Okay, and on my app classes, guys, on Darshanik IAS app, I will be launching comprehensive course of history where I will be discussing ancient, medieval, modern history, then world history, art, architecture part separately, and will be offering it to you in a very low cost module form. Okay, where I will be discussing such a part of history that is expected by UPSC, not just factual history, but I will try to focus on understanding of history. So let's understand this Kalidasa's composition one by one. So guys, we'll begin with one of the awesome poem composed by Kalidas, that is Meghdutam. Now guys, Meghdutam, now by the words itself it is clear that clouds Megh as a messenger. So in this poem, who wants to give this message and to whom? So guys, in mythology we have a story, okay, story that revolves around Mount Kailash where Shivji resides. So at Kailash where Shivji resides, there was a king Kuber, okay, who used to worship Shivji, and Yaksha was one character, major protagonist around whom this poem is. So this Yaksha was the servant of the king Kuber. That Yaksha has a lover, Alka, and one day king Kuber asked Yaksha to bring 100 flowers, 100 roses, with which he wanted to worship Shivji. When Yaksha went to bring those 100 flowers, roses, he brought those 100 roses, but then he felt that I should take out one rose and I should offer it to my lover Alka, and so he took out one rose. He thought Kuber won't understand this, and he only gave 99 flowers to King Kuber. And later on, when King Kuber realized Yaksha removed one flower and offered it to his lover Alka, then King Kuber got extremely angry and he cursed this Yaksha of exile. So he cursed him to be in exile for 1 year away from Mount Kailash, away from Kailash Parvat, and he has to live 1 year away from his lover Alka for doing this mischief. And so Yaksha was exiled, and so Yaksha was living somewhere near Nagpur region. And now, as you know, that when monsoon comes, it comes from South India and then it reaches the Himalayas. And so here Yaksha, okay, was the character, and using him Kalidas is writing this poem Meghdutam. So here, okay, Kalidas through Yaksha, that Yaksha wants to give message to his lover Alka, who is at Mount Kailash, and so he is asking those clouds as a messenger to take his message, and how he is away from his lover Alka, and how he is feeling this depressed, alone, and so he wants to convey Alka her mental condition through these clouds, and cloud as a messenger, this poem, that's why it is called Meghdutam. Now guys, here there is one parallel connection because Kalidas was also from Kashmir region. He was also living away from his lover, and so when he was in court in Ujjain, okay, Kalidas went to Nagpur, and when he was in Nagpur, okay, he composed this poem, okay, from this place. And so through Yaksha and Alka story, Kalidas also was narrating his own mental condition, that he was away from his lover who is in somewhere in Kashmir. And so this Meghdut story of Yaksha and Alka was also story of Kalidas and his lover, and Kalidas is writing this his own emotions, okay, through the character of Yaksha. So this Meghdut, guys, so Meghdut poem of 120 stanzas, it is one of the Kalidasa's most famous works. So work is divided into two parts, Purva Megh and Uttar Megh. So it has 120 lines, stanzas. It recounts how Yaksha, a subject of King Kuber, the god of wealth, after being exiled for a year to central India for neglecting his duties, that wo roz ka jo part I told you the story, convinces a passing cloud to take a message to his wife at Alka on Mount Kailash in the Himalayan mountains. Okay, and so this is the storyline of this poem Meghdut. Now guys, this Meghdut ka Nagpur and Kalidas has very strange and awesome connection. So guys, near Nagpur there is one hill which is known, and where there is very famous temple of Lord Rama known as Ramtek temple, Ramtek Mandir. And near that Ramtek temple you will find one memorial of Kalidas created by Maharashtra government. So this Ramtek temple, this Kalidasa's memorial, and this Meghdut story all have very awesome relation. So relation was, guys, that in this Meghdut ke poem mein there are some lines, okay, where he refers to Sita. So it is said that when Lord Rama and Sita were on Vanvas, they came here at Ramtek and they lived few years at Ramtek. And so in this Meghdut, Kalidas also refers to this story of Sita and Rama living there at the Ramtek. Now guys, so when we went to, when my wife got selected, and she got selected and she has good rank 190, but she opted for IRS, and her training was in Nagpur at NADT. And so when I went to meet her at NADT, then we took a trip to this Ramtek temple and we visited this Kalidasa's memorial also. And as I teach history and my wife's optional was history, she scored 320 marks then, like all India topper in history. So we both were very much interested in history. And so when we explored these places and also we read about those Meghdut's lines, okay, this all connection we understood. So this Kalidas, guys, was also at Nagpur. Yaksha in mythology is also said was in the same region. Sita and Rama, when they were on Vanvas, they lived, okay, here at this location called Ramtek, where we have this temple. And all of this and the clouds that come from South India, monsoon clouds, and then they reach Himalaya, okay, as a messenger. So all these emotions and stories were combined in this Meghdut. So let me recite some lines of Meghdut for you, and then you will understand all this connection. So, and this is just one stanza, but it's an awesome composition, guys. Just from the lines. Now these are the translation from Sanskrit, but even these lines, okay, will make you feel extremely emotional even listening to those lines. So expert from Meghdut, पावन सरवर जनक नंदिनी सीता जहां नहाई थी. मतलब सीता when जो Ramtek where Ram and Sita were there on Vanvas. Okay, so he is referring that this is the place where Rama Sita lived. Okay, or Ramtek ke paas there is one big lake, and he was referring to that lake also in his poem where Sita jahan nahai thi. So पावक सरवर जनक नंदिनी सीता जहां नहाई थी, जहां घने तरुओं ने अपनी परछाई फैलाई थी, उसी रामगिरी पर रहने को आया यक्ष दुखी होकर. That Yaksha, when Kuber cursed Yaksha came here on the same place where Rama and Sita also lived. उसी रामगिरी पर रहने को आया यक्ष दुखी होकर, एक वर्ष भर प्रिया विरह का श्राप लिया था माते पर. तो यक्ष को जो श्राप दिया था. एंड कालिदास इज ऑल्सो टेलिंग हिज ओन स्टोरी, इमोशनल स्टेट ऑफ लिविंग अवे फ्रॉम हिज लवर वॉज देयर समवेयर इन कश्मीर उत्तराखंड रीजन. सो एक वर्ष भर प्रिया विरह का श्राप लिया था माथे पर, क्या मेरा संदेश प्रिया तक गगन बटो ही ले जाएगा, सावन के दिन उथल पुथल कर क्या संभल भी पाएगा, फिर भी उसने वन फूलों का बादल को उपहार दिया, हो प्रसन्न प्रिय शब्दों में स्वागत का उपचार किया। ओ जलदर है जले अदर की तीखी प्यास बुझाता तू, विरहा नल में जले यक्ष की खबर प्रिया तक ले जा तू। विरहा नल में जले यक्ष की खबर प्रिया तक ले जा तू। And this is this Meghdutam's one stanza. So remember all this story part that I told you. UPSC might ask you what this story, a Meghdutam poem, which part of the story or it covers, or this story is about which character. So you should be knowing all these basic details about Kalidasa's composition. So Indian history mein guys, there are few people who are very legendary and their books, okay, are also very legendary. So such a 40-50 books you should know, or composition you should know, 40-50 inscriptions you should know in detail, and what was the message in those inscriptions or in those books, what was the story that was focused on. And this is very basic understanding as a UPSC student you should have about India, about such a legendary peoples. So that's all about Meghdutam. So guys, another important composition, lyrical composition, poem of Kalidas is Ritusamharam. So guys, Ritusamharam, this composition in which Kalidas in a very awesome way and in very detailed manner, okay, has mentioned the 6 seasons that we have or we experience. So generally around equatorial region, you must have studied in basic geography, we only find one season, summer all the time, and rainfall every day. But as we go away from equator, okay, in temperate latitudes we find generally 4 seasons, like in Europe, okay, summer, spring, fall, winter, etc. But in Himalayan regions guys, in some part of region we find these 6 seasons. So if you are from northern India, South India, you won't be able to experience this seasons. Then we generally have summer, monsoon and winter. But in Himalayan region, hilly regions of northeast se leke Kashmir tak, you will experience 6 seasons. And these 6 seasons may whatever changes happen in environment, in flora, fauna, and at the same time what changes happen in human beings emotionally, how their emotion change, that aspect in a very awesome way was expressed by Kalidas in this poem Ritusamharam. Okay, so let's see this Ritusamharam. So there are some images that I have taken online from some books. Okay, Sachin Grantha on Ritusamharam. So a lot of books are available on Ritusamharam. Okay, where they have depicted whatever Kalidas was narrating, what changes were happening in geography, climate, and human emotions. Okay, they are depicted in these paintings of Ritusamharam. So guys, Ritusamharam is a long poem or mini epic in Sanskrit by Kalidas. Poem has 6 cantos for the 6 Indian seasons. Now guys, which are 6 Indian seasons? Most of you must be knowing the names. But if you don't know the name guys, then this is very problematic thing. Because guys, nowadays UPSC expects from you very basic understanding. Okay, this is not something that what are the 6 seasons of India, that's something you should know as a UPSC student. This is one should know as an Indian person. And so there are some things guys, this is what the basic preparation of UPSC, these things you should know. So not only you should know 6 seasons, you should know them in a sequence also. And these 6 seasons, Grishma summer, uske baad Varsha monsoon, then you have Sharad or autumn, then Hemant winter season, okay, or cool before winter, then Shishir, that is winter, and then after winter Vasant, the spring season. So Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant, Shishir, Vasant. Okay, these 6 seasons are expressed in a very romantic and very awesome way by Kalidas in this Ritusamharam. So naam se it is quite clear, Ritusamharam is the story of this 6 seasons or poem on 6 seasons. And so for you, just to help you remember this Ritusamharam well, I have few lines from the Ritusamharam. So they are in Hindi, but Kalidas composed in very pure Sanskrit, but these are the translation of that lines. So in these lines, this Kalidas, okay, is translating Ritusamharam's this rainy season. And so these lines I will read for you, very awesome composition guys. So आया पावस राजा प्रियतम, पावस राजा आया, अपने दलबल सहित देख लो कैसा साज सजाया, मदमाते बादल हाथी ने बादल गीत गुंजाया, ध्वजा पताका बिजली की लो फहराता ले आया, उन्मन प्रेमी जन के मन पर मनमत का रंग छाया, स्वागत पावस राजा स्वागत सबने मिलकर गाया. Okay, and this is this composition of Ritusamharam, or one stanza from Ritusamharam about monsoon season. So that's all for now, guys. Thanks for listening and stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Do check out my other lectures. Many lectures regarding strategy will be of extreme help, along with essay ethics lecture and many history related lecture and prelim shorts. Check them out. Do subscribe and share my channel and help me grow. And also check out my Darshanik IAS app. Okay, Darshanik by Akshay Kadam sir, and on that app I have already recorded my ethics lectures, and soon essay lectures comprehensive course will be available at very low cost to you. So do take advantage of that classes and prepare well for your exam. And my classes for essay ethics and history lectures, guys, will be one-stop solution. You won't need anything else than those classes. So thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned.